Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance, which is not so early. Facebook was giving me fits today, so I needed to reboot and regroup. And as you can see, the angle of the video is much wider than it typically is. No clue. Anyway, here we are. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And many of you may have already gotten on with your day. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you are here. Seems like as soon as a few of you find me, then the rest of you kind of come trotting in. So, looking forward to seeing all of our practical rebels here this morning. I'm glad this thing finally worked. Holy buckets. Good morning, Janine. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. First, I had the black screen of death. Then it wouldn't let me into my business page, just my personal page. On and on and on and on. So I ended up rebooting the phone and then redoing Facebook. And here we are. I'm nothing if not bullheaded. So, good morning. Good morning. Glad you're here. 2 days post-Christmas. How y'all hanging in there? Hopefully pretty good. Good morning. Thank you for the hearts and the rainbow. Much appreciated. And today, apparently, we are supposed to get 4 to 6 inches of wet, heavy, sloppy snow. So I am very glad that, excuse me, my sister and dad are at her house because she's south of where it's going to be. And we have a plowman. Yay! I'm so happy. So he'll take care of all that and won't have to worry about it. Yesterday, it was pea soup here. Relatively warm, but very misty and London-like. So, and the woman who was going to fix my windshield, where I took a rock, was scheduled to come to the house rather than me go to their shop. But it quit precipitating, and they had said it would be about 45 minutes of her working on the windshield, and 20 minutes later she was done. So she was quite efficient. And then we had 2 plumber guys here yesterday as well. So it was quite the service industry day. Good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. Welcome. Everybody's starting to roll in. This is good. Hello, Practical Rebels. And there's Nancy. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So, for those of you who missed the saga, Facebook was giving me fits this morning. So, and it's still different than it has been. It's a much wider angle today than it ever has been. But whatever, we can still see our Believe pillow, so we're off and running. Cards were interesting as well. It's the same deck as yesterday, the Notes from the Universe on Abundance deck by Mike Dooley. And the first card I picked was the card we had yesterday. And I thought, well, they don't want to hear that again, but maybe you do. So I'm going to read that card. Then the second card that came up was one that I received when we used these cards with my coffee group within the last week or two. So I'll read that one. And then the one we actually have for today is this beautiful tree with the sun rising or setting behind it. So we'll do all 3. And interestingly, not surprise, surprise, they all hold together. They tie together and make a nice little story. So here was the one from yesterday. Well, first, what am I doing? We need tapping. We need breath. Hello. Good morning, good morning. Let's breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. As you can tell, I have a little bit of a frog. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Yes, we got to keep our Believe pillow right where we can see it. And our angels, we got Angel 1, Angel 2, Angel 3. Ooh, that was a good brain test because everything's backwards from how it, yeah. And pink clouds. Yes, we have pink clouds. Can't go wrong with pink clouds. So breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. One more. Breath in, breath out. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Yeah. So here we are with our fluffy pink clouds that look just like cotton candy. Every single day, this is the universe talking to us now. I'm pressing out and reeling in the abundance you're making room for in your life as I observe everything you think, say, and do. Yeah, I'm not so fond of the reeling in part. Pressing my heart out, the universe. So there's that one. The second one, which is the one that I received a week or two ago with my coffee group. I love that big boulder. And it was funny because we were talking about rocks before. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Beth. We were talking about rocks before we started pulling cards. How much we love rocks. Everybody was showing the rocks they have sitting on their desks, blah, blah. And I get a boulder. I thought that was great. So this one says, no matter how much money or love you have made or lost, you can still make more. The universe. Yay! And then this is the card literally for today. And it says, I said yes. This is the universe talking to us. I said yes when you first thought of it. Now, when you first asked, and hallelujah, so be it, coming right up when you gave thanks in advance. Believing in you, the universe. Ain't that an awesome card? I love that one. So the basic gist is dare to dream it. Dare to believe in it. Dare to take steps toward it. Dare to be grateful in advance, knowing that it's coming your way, right? So we go back to our Tosha Silver lament. I'm so happy and grateful now that divine right timing and divine right order is bringing this to me. I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready to receive it. All the things that need to line up for this to occur are already lined up. I'm just waiting for divine right timing, right? So how many of us are in that state of mind today? There are those of us who overdid on Christmas and are like, oh my God, how am I ever going to pay this off? There are those of us who may have had some time off of work around Christmas and are going, well, that's a little bit short. Some people get compensated for that. Some people don't. There are those who are feeling like, yeah, I did okay. I didn't overdo. I didn't do the commercial thing. I did thoughtful stuff that meant something to me and to the recipients. Wherever you're at, the gist of these cards are saying it's all about what's up here. It's all about creating our flow. It's about opening our eyes to see what's right in front of us. And some of you might be saying, yeah, but there are people who are significantly behind on this journey toward appropriate wealth. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. What are they meant to learn where they're at? What are we meant to learn where we're at? Again, this year is probably my worst year, God, since, I don't know, sometime in the late 70s, early 80s, I made more just out of high school than I made this year because I was so wound up with trying to deal with Dad and the housing project and all the other things that weren't necessarily compensating me monetarily. So I could be freaking out about that, or I could be saying, no, this is divine right timing. This is divine right timing and divine right order to help me understand, because I had the years where I killed myself earning six figures, feeling very much like it was all about me having to work hard, take care of my family, blah, 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 all the things. I'm beyond that now. I truly believe what I need comes my way when it's divine right timing. And oftentimes, it may seem like it's my right timing, right? There's this opportunity, I need the funds to do this, let's go for it. What I have found, and I want y'all to hear this, what I have found is oftentimes it's me making the decision, yes, I'm going to do this, and then the funds show up. Again, my classic example of that is when I took my second Psych K training, which was in Colorado, in a remote area in Colorado, Crestone to be exact. And it was $3,000 some bucks for the training. I wasn't even thinking about airfare, hotel, all the things. And that place didn't have hotels at that point in time. I didn't know that yet, right? I ended up staying with a former nun who was moved by God to build an octagonal house up above the tree line and build this beautiful rock garden. It was just amazing. Anyway, Again, the divine unfolding. I was meant to meet her. I stayed with her several times when I was out there for trainings. But with this first training, I had the tool, the level 1 Psych K tool to use in moving myself into alignment with the divine, that if this was meant to happen, all I needed to do was ask and then get out of the way. So on that particular day, I did the process. I did the asking. And I laughed a little bit with the group of people I was working with about, yeah, we'll see what happens. I was asking for the $3,200 or whatever it was for the training itself. That following Monday, that was on a Friday, the following Monday, a check for $4,200 showed up unexpectedly. What it was Cigna Insurance had been sued by the American Psychological Association for their discriminatory practices against psychologists. So like a year earlier, we had filled out paperwork, how many sessions we had had with Cigna clients, blah, blah, blah. $4,200 shows up as compensation for that class action lawsuit. That was not only the amount I needed for the training itself, but airfare, staying with Kiara, blah, blah, blah. Ask. So let me read it to you again. Here's today's card. The universe says, I said yes when you first thought of it. Now, when you first asked, and hallelujah, so be it, coming right up when you first gave thanks in advance. Believing in you, the universe. So, how you doing on that asking thing? How you doing on that dreaming big? Allowing yourself to create it in your mind first and then in your actions as doors begin to open. Again, that was part of my reading that I did for myself. Trying to remember the name of the deck. It's an oracle deck. Gabrielle J. Merrihew. That's the author. Isn't that interesting? Remember, the author can't pull the name of the card deck. Anywho, that was one of the cards in there, was that doors are opening, and that doors have opened in the past, and what I've learned from those doors opening in the past is they need to open in a particular order in order for things to flow the way they're meant to flow. So my job is the discernment on the doors that are opening. Can do. So what about you? What have you first thought of? What are you asking about? And are you giving thanks in advance? Knowing it's coming your way in divine right timing and divine right order, and that you are so happy and grateful to receive. Always have enough. Absolutely. Sometimes we have an abundance. And then, what are we called to do? Share with others. Share with others. Get this energy moving. So, I hope you have an awesome Saturday. I hope you have great abundance coming your way. I hope you share your abundance liberally. I hope that things, if they've been in upheaval in 2025, which for most of us they have been, things begin to settle a little bit. It's time to take action. It's time to do. It's time to be looking around for when those doors open, the opportunities in the open doors. Step through. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.